Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unreliable Studio Podcast number 7.
What?
This is Josh, and today we're going to be talking about Xbox One. I'm here with...
Whoa.
What? Okay, is this better? Hey, this is Josh, and I'm joined today by...
Pedro.
And we're going to be talking about the Xbox One.
Thank you, that was much better.
I know this is a little late. We've just been kind of giving it some time to cool down a little bit with this whole used games nonsense. So I guess we'll just start from the beginning. Pedro, you know a lot more about the hardware specs itself. Why don't you get started with that?
Well, it's the next generation Xbox, and it's in a nice black box.
It's kind of big.
Yeah.
It looks big, at least.
That's it. All right. What next? Just kidding.
What about internals?
It's got an AMD CPU and an AMD GPU. It's an all-in-one chip. It's running a 64-bit processor in that chip. And, spec-wise, it's pretty similar to the PlayStation 4. The only difference is that the PlayStation 4 is running 8 gigs of GDDR5, while the Xbox 360 is running 8 gigs of GDR3, but then the Xbox 360 has 32 megabytes of EDRAM. I honestly, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what the difference between DDR3 and DDR5 is going to be for the systems.
The difference is that the memory is a lot faster on GDDR5. So supposedly, that means that the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 would be able to run things faster and smoother and prettier. But then, I don't know. It doesn't matter. In layman's terms, it doesn't matter. Honestly, you're not gonna tell a difference. It's the difference between the PS3 and the Xbox 360 all over again.
Yeah. Which, PlayStation made a mistake with their proprietary everything on the PlayStation 3. It kind of killed them. So
yeah, the cell processor was really expensive. That hurt them.
Even Blu-rays kind of hurt them with these mandatory installs and stuff too. So
yeah,
but that's another thing we'll bring up a little later.
The big difference is that the big difference is that the Xbox One. Sorry, that's going to take some getting used to.
Not the original Xbox.
Right. The new Xbox, titled Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4 have a 64-bit processors in them. The Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 were running on PowerPC. The difference now is that these processors in the new generation systems are more like a computer processor, a processor you would buy from Newegg or Amazon. A processor you would get from a desktop computer or a laptop. And that makes all the world of difference because now developers can develop these games for a computer and for consoles and have even an easier time to port the games between one system and the next. And it sucks in that none of the new next generation systems are backwards compatible with the old systems, and that's really because the processors.
It's like trying to play a VHS on a DVD player.
Right, yeah. These processors don't understand the language of the old generation. So you could emulate it, yes, but that costs money and that takes time. But, why do that? Why not just keep your Xbox 360?
That's why Sony's talking about doing a streaming service for the PlayStation 3 games. Because that process can be emulated from the server and then streamed to the PlayStation 4.
Streaming, what that means is that they literally have PlayStation 3s running, and it's like, all right, we're going to have a PlayStation 3 running while you play on your PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But honestly, you're
just controlling a PlayStation 3 somewhere else.
Through your PlayStation 4. That's all that is. And they can have a supercomputer emulating, 10 PS3s, but nonetheless, that's all that's what streaming is.
Yeah, and I'm sure Microsoft will come up with something similar to kind of off-throw like all the.
I don't know. The message that Microsoft has made is that Xbox One will play Xbox One games. If you want to play Xbox 360 games, you keep your Xbox 360, which is fine.
That is true. They said they plan on keeping the 360 console life for a few more years.
Exactly, because they've been incredibly successful with the Xbox 360. This isn't like the Xbox. When the Xbox came out, they flopped. I mean, they did better than the GameCube because of Halo, but besides that,
it wasn't a PlayStation 2.
Exactly, it wasn't nearly as popular as the PS2.
And now I'd argue that the Xbox 360 is
Way
where the
more
PlayStation 2 was 10 years ago.
in the U.S.
Yeah, at least in the U.S.
In Japan, not a chance. In Europe, that's debatable.
So the Xbox One got announced, and they've showed that it's got 2 HDMI ports now, one for input, one for output. They are focusing a lot on TV experiences. So you're going to be able to plug your cable box into the Xbox, plug the Xbox into the TV, and then control your cable box through your Xbox.
And Josh, how excited are you about this feature?
I do not own a cable box, and I haven't owned one for, I don't know, an extremely long time. 8 years?
Exactly. Neither do I. I use Netflix and I use Hulu for all my TV needs.
As long as I have a video streaming service available, I'm happy. If they were able to get some sort of contract with HBO, so I could get HBO Go without having to subscribe to HBO Go on a monthly bill, like a charter bill or whatever. Like if I could just pay an $8 fee every month, like Netflix or Hulu, then I'd be fine doing that. But if I have to plug in my cable box to my Xbox to watch TV,
your non-existent cable box.
Yeah, it's just too much for me, at least. I mean, I can see how some people would use it, and it'd probably be pretty cool, but it's just too much focus on entertainment right now. And I know they're waiting for E3 to do a lot of the game stuff. And
I mean, I really think that Microsoft is confused. They're at this point where they're like, all right, games are for the younger crowd. TV is for the older crowd. How can we get the two? We want games, but we want TV. So we make the Xbox One. And it's just like, it's really confusing. It's like, I'm not going to use the TV portion of the Xbox One, and my dad isn't going to use the game portion of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
But they figure, hey, we'll have both portions in the system so that people could buy, both myself and my father could buy this thing. And I guess they're just trying to run with that. Do you think that's going to work?
I just don't see somebody that is looking for something to put in their entertainment center that, like, nobody's going to spend $500 on this and not play games on it. They're not going to buy an extra piece of hardware to put in their living room just because it does something that their cable box doesn't do.
Exactly.
If it replaced a cable box, then that would be something totally different.
Yes, and we have a little debate on that. Because I am almost guaranteed that Microsoft is going to come out with some TV providing service.
If they can figure out a way to do video streaming from a cable provider over the internet and not through a coax cable through the wall, then that's definitely worth looking into.
I can almost guarantee that's going to happen in 5 years. And I mean, granted, I don't have sources, and that's just me talking. In 5 years, I would not be surprised if Microsoft was like, hey, by the way, Xbox Live Gold, that's great, $60 a month, but, for $100 a month, you get Xbox Live Gold.
A year.
Right, sorry, $100 a year, you get Xbox Live Gold, and then you also get TV over your internet. I mean,
that it'd be nice, but I mean, we've seen what Xbox Live has become over the course of the past 7 years or 8 years, and now we've got, infinitely number of the options now that we did when the 360 came out, or even when the original Xbox was around. So, there's definitely some cooler stuff out there now, but I don't know how deep into the entertainment they want to go.
I mean, they're opening up their own entertainment studio. I mean, they're making the Halo television show.
Yeah.
So they're definitely investing in this. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
I just hope they don't whore out that Halo TV though. Like, if I have to pay a ridiculous amount to subscribe to something that has only one thing that I want on it just to watch it, I'm gonna be upset.
So okay, let's bring that into topic. How much would you pay for a Halo TV show?
$25. I'll pay $25 to get 26 episodes. Normal.
$25 just
yeah.
hey, they have
I want to buy the season. Yeah.
Okay.
It's $26.
Gotcha.
If they're going to require me to pay $10 a month for the entire year to get a TV service that only displays this Halo show on it, unfortunately, I'm probably not going to do that. I'll just wait until it comes out on DVD.
Understandable.
Yeah, because Forward Unto Dawn, they gave us the
You can get it on DVD.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can get it on Blu-ray. You can get it on Zune.
When they announced it, it seemed like it was only going to be available as a streaming video, and then a month later, it came out on Blu-ray.
Yep.
And it was $15. So
that's what I did.
Yeah, and I got the special edition of Halo, and we never know. If Halo 5 comes out and they're like, "Oh, you get the Halo TV show for free,"
that's not going to happen.
I'm going to hold out for Halo 5.
Enough about TV. We're gamers, and that's what we really want to talk about. So,
Xbox in there,
at the event, how much game? What was the amount of gaming you would say that we saw at this Microsoft game event?
It was probably, to start off, it was 20% talking, probably 15% games, and then
the rest
65% entertainment.
Yes.
So, as far as the games go, they showed.
I am heartbroken.
We already know, Call of Duty.
Gasp!
Madden,
a new Call of Duty. Gasp! A new Madden.
FIFA.
Holy shit! A new FIFA.
But they've said that Xbox One is going to have exclusive content first for Call of Duty. It's going to have exclusive content for FIFA that you can't get on any other console. The main thing that they showed that was one of Microsoft's properties was Forza 5.
What? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked about that.
It looked awesome. I know it was just cinematic, but it's still in-game rendered footage, which is still good.
They could have just had fucking Forza 5, the fucking logo, and I would have been like, oh god, yes.
So hopefully at E3 we get to see some actual gameplay. For a racing game, most people say, "Oh, you can't really make it any better," but
you can.
The distance is the biggest thing for me on a racing game. Being able to see what's coming up better is definitely going to help. Because playing Forza Horizon, you can only see so far out before it just kind of looks all blurry. So it's going to be nice to have the processing power of this new Xbox running a racing game. And then, if they could do stuff like they did with Auto Vista in Forza 5 too, that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they were saying that this system is 10, 20 times more powerful than the Xbox 360. And unfortunately, this system also brings some controversial topics. Do you want to get into some of that?
The used games?
Yeah, they're talking about knocking back used games. They're talking about requiring to always be connected.
Always
they're talking
online.
about always online. This generation is a pretty fantastic thing, but at the same time, it's pretty scary. It's pretty terrifying. Because, I play my system offline. I play my system without Kinect. I play used games. I borrow games from my friends. And Microsoft is wanting to take all this away from me. So, I'm happy to see Forza 5, and I'm happy to see that this system is way more powerful than the Xbox 360 and that it's more compatible with PC games. But at the same time, I'm kind of scared. So yeah, let's jump into topic. Used game sale. Let's go dive into that.
Basically, they said the Xbox One will support the used game market.
Quote unquote. They say that the Xbox One will support the used game market.
Yeah, but that could mean any number of things. Sure, you can put a used game in there, but you got to buy a $60 pass in order to play it.
So let me get this right. I can buy a used game, but then I have to buy a pass for the same price of the game to play the game on my system.
Just like DRM for PC games now, where you can take the disc to a friend's house and install it, but if they don't have a product key, then they're SOL. They can buy a new product key. It's going to cost just as much as the game.
Yeah.
They haven't really given any information about that once that information came out.
Yeah, I mean...
Apparently somebody lost their job because of it. Because they said too much, so...
If you look at all the different interviews from all the different websites and all the different videos, like Kotaku, Joystick, Polygon, they were all over the place. They would say, yeah, you can play used games, but you have to pay a fee. Oh, yeah, you can play used game, but you basically have to buy the game all over again.
Yeah.
And it was just... The message was clear. Microsoft doesn't know what they're going to do, or at least they weren't willing to unveil what they're going to do with the used game market yet.
They're supporting used games, but as far as the cost to play that used game, we just don't know yet.
Yes.
Kind of strange timing, but a week before that, EA announced that they'll no longer be requiring online passes for their games.
So this isn't strange timing at all. This is that's not strange.
This is EA trying to look like the good guy,
exactly,
and really in cahoots with Microsoft already, knowing that every game's going to require some sort of online pass.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Let's not fool ourselves.
So now we don't know who's getting the money. We don't know if Microsoft's getting the money for the new games.
No,
we don't know if the publisher's getting the money for the new games.
We know who's getting the money.
Developers getting money for the used games. It could be. I mean, the publisher is really the one driving the money. So we all know EA did the online pass so they could make more money, not so they can give more money to DICE when somebody wants to play a used copy of Battlefield 3.
But I mean, in their defense, EA owns DICE, so if EA is making money, DICE can make more games. So yes, Microsoft is... They're trying to figure out a way to make money off the used game market, which is fine. That's perfect. More power to them. But I mean, as long as they don't hurt the consumer, because if you're limiting the consumer, you're really hurting yourself. So if they want to, if hypothetically speaking, customer Bob sells their game to GameStop or Best Buy or whatever, and Microsoft is like, well, if you want to sell that game, you have to give us 10% of the profit. That's cool, whatever. Just as long as, EA, Activision, Square Enix, whoever, also gets 5% of whatever Microsoft makes. Because if Microsoft is making all of this money, then that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, and I don't think that'd be the case, because then EA would still have their online pass. The way I can see it working out is if you buy a used game or rent a game from somebody or something like that, I can see buying a $30 pass. 10 goes to the developer, 10 goes to the publisher, 10 goes to Microsoft for being the middleman. And that way you're still getting the game you want to play. It's half the cost as it would cost it new. But with retailers like GameStop or selling used games on Amazon or eBay, I can't see you selling a game for more than $30 because at that point you'd be paying just as much to buy it new.
Yeah, this brings the issue of selling it to a retailer. But then another issue that's brought is, what if you want to lend it to your friend? Because then if you give your game to your friend, because, mind you, apparently Xbox One requires you to install the games onto the hard drive, which is fine, whatever.
Then you don't need the disc, though.
Exactly. So if I buy a game and I give it to Josh, then Josh, in order to play this game, you have to pay $30. That still hurts you.
Yeah, because I'm still paying $30 for a game that's technically already been bought.
Exactly.
If they come up with a good solution to this, with the PlayStation Plus, they have timed trial full retail games. So basically, I can download a version of the game that's timed for 2 hours. And it's the whole game. It's the full retail game, but I get to play for 2 hours. And then after that, I can decide if I want to buy it. If they do something similar to that, where I can put that disc in, and it'll play from the disc, and then after that 2 hours, it'll say if you want to install it, it'll be $30. If not, the disc won't work on this Xbox anymore. But then it's got to have some sort of rewritable disc. I don't know how they would.
I don't think they would have a rewritable disc. I think this would bring into our next controversial topic of every Xbox One having to be, well, basically, they would have to
Online.
require online connection. Because if I have game A and I lend that game A to Josh, my Xbox will say, oh, okay, cool, you own this game A. But then as soon as you take it to your Xbox is going to say, oh, okay, you own game A. And that would deactivate
Your account.
my license for game A. So that's the only other way they can do this.
Yeah.
And
if they do it that way, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, as far as I know, there's nothing stopping them from saying like after 5 times you can't do that anymore. Because what's the difference from? Well, I mean, what would be stopping me from just borrowing that game from you every time I want to play it? Deactivates your account. I put it in and play it, and then I give it back to you, and it deactivates my account. And you just keep going back and forth. I mean, it'd be no different than what we're doing now. You
But I
can't
mean, exactly.
You
So-
couldn't play a game you're lending me at the same time.
Exactly. So, hold on. That would make it alright. Because, I mean, like you said, you cannot play the game that you're lending me.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. Because technically, you bought this game,
yeah,
and you're lending me this game that you bought. So, why should you be able to play it while you're lending it to me? You shouldn't be able to.
yeah.
So, there's nothing wrong with that. If they did that, that would be fine. I'd be okay with
We
that.
already know there's some fee attached to it.
I know, and that's what hurts me. That's what hurts me is the fact that I cannot do that.
Yeah,
The fact that I would have to pay a fee for a game that you already bought with your own hard-earned cash.
but then I mean, even in that situation, there's no way to deactivate the original console when you're reselling it to a retailer, unless that retailer has some sort of
Online access
yeah, exactly.
to Microsoft database.
they'd have like a unregister Xbox One at the store. They put that disc in there. It unregisters the disc automatically from any console it's been in,
Yeah.
and then you can resell it as a free register copy or whatever. I don't know. It's just it's a confusing situation. They made it worse by saying a ton of stuff that was incorrect and then not saying anything at all. So
I mean, we don't know if this is incorrect. All we know is that like multiple Microsoft executives were saying different things. So we don't know what to believe.
and Sony has stayed extremely quiet because
Yeah.
I believe they're going to have a similar setup. They're just not going to say anything about it until Microsoft deals with the situation they have.
They're just sitting back and waiting to see what Microsoft does because they
Yeah.
know that whatever Microsoft does, they can do. They can either do it exactly the same way that Microsoft does it, or they can do it better.
They're going to have a similar like program as far as the used game market goes, because there's no way EA would outlaw all online passes knowing that only the Xbox One had this system in place.
Exactly.
So PlayStation has to have some sort of DRM or something on their console, because I mean, if that wasn't the case, then it'd be like EA games exclusive to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
which would be
never happened.
insane.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So,
And I mean, it's funny because like originally, before this event even happened, all this talk about DRM and all this talk about used game licensing and all this BS, really. This originally with the PlayStation 4, like everybody was saying that the PlayStation 4 wasn't going to play used games.
yeah.
But now they stayed quiet during their unveil, and then Microsoft I guess they screwed up and they started giving multiple different answers. So now everybody's like, well, Microsoft's really the one that messed up. But in reality, maybe they were just the one that had the balls to actually talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to reserve judgment for now until after E3.
I mean, that's really all we can do is wait and see what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if they don't say something about it at E3, then that... I mean, it takes them down to, like, 4 months.
Yeah.
And if they just keep quiet about it up until, like, October, and they're like, oh, by the way...
By the way...
They're gonna be shooting themselves in the foot, because nobody's gonna want to pre-order a console knowing that like it won't play used games, or not knowing. That'd be like buying a DVD player and say, well,
hopefully my DVDs will work.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, there are some good things about this new console. It does have Blu-ray.
Yeah,
So,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I can get rid of my PlayStation 3.
They are adding 285,000 servers. Currently, we're on 15,000, and they're going up to 300,000.
But I mean, if you think about that, the fact that they're requiring every Xbox One to be connected online, I mean,
that's
you pretty much
a reason.
Yeah, you need to have that amount of servers. Because let's go back in time
and if every console is doing video streaming or game streaming or
playing
anything,
online, keeping track of databases, cloud computing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every time there's a game, just a specific game that launches that requires online connection.
It's got a ping.
I am looking at you, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, SimCity. Every time a new game launches and it's like, you need an online connection, you can't play that game the first day it comes out. You just can't.
I'd be interested to know like how many servers Diablo 3 had the day it came out.
Well, I can tell you it had a lot more than SimCity. Because they only had like 5. And they were like, we got this.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some interesting stuff coming out of this. The new Kinect looks really good.
All right, let's talk about that.
Full 1080p.
Full 1080p.
It's got it'll see your fingers on your hand, which is insane.
Not individual fingers. It could tell the difference between your fingers and your thumb.
Yeah.
So you can open and close your hand, and it's like, I can tell that you're doing that. That's cool.
Yeah, you can like pinch and zoom like controls on a touch phone. Or an iPad, something like that. It was like you can pinch and zoom and slide and all kinds of stuff. Which
orientation.
Is really cool.
It knows about orientation, so it can tell the difference between the front of your hand and the back of your hand, which is pretty exciting.
You can tell the Xbox to turn on. You turn the Xbox on, and it'll turn on automatically.
So that's one of the advantages of the AMD processor. It has the ability to basically function in really, 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 really low power state. So, it would virtually take up no power, but then the moment you say Xbox turn on, it would be like, command, we got to turn the system on, and that's cool.
Yeah.
What else? It's always on. You're required to have the Kinect connected to your Xbox One,
which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Just because. I mean, in this day and age, electronics are always around us, but it's still weird knowing that Kinect is just sitting there staring at me. Like, even if I'm
listening,
exactly,
watching.
Even if I'm just watching TV, I mean, I
have
no idea what it's doing.
It has, what is it, night vision? Yeah, it can see in the dark. It can literally see in the dark.
And there's some stuff about it that's looking really good, and knowing that it's always connected to the Xbox One, that means any game at all that's ever developed can have some sort of Kinect functionality.
Yeah, it makes sense. Developers know that every Xbox that is sold has Kinect, so they know they can add Kinect functionality with confidence. They can say
every consumer is gonna be able to experience this feature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I add voice commands, I know that my consumers can utilize that voice command. If I add motion, I know that every consumer are going to have the ability to utilize that motion command.
The only thing, honestly, that worries me about Kinect included is the price. I was thinking before the announcement, before everything that was shown off and everything, I was thinking like $4.99, but I'm not sure with what they're offering and what I expect out of the console and what has come before it. I'm now looking at like $600 maybe.
I think you're crazy, sir. I honestly, I mean, with the fact that this new hardware, it honestly doesn't use custom. I mean, okay, so technically it does use a custom processor because it's made through AMD and they worked with Microsoft and whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if this new system was $399 to $499, $400 to $500, easy.
With the
including Kinect, yes, including Kinect. And the only reason I don't go cheaper than that is because they don't want to lower the price of the Xbox 360. I would not be surprised if this holiday the Xbox 360 stayed at $299 and the next generation system was at $399 and $499. And honestly, I don't even see two price point because I mean they've
only announced one hard drive size, 500 gig hard drive.
There's only one SKU.
Yeah.
The Xbox One with 500 gigs, and that's it.
Well, that'd be dumb to name an Xbox One and then release two different versions of it.
Right?
Be exactly. Like Xbox One and Xbox One 2.
So I mean, best case scenario, Xbox One $399, Xbox 360 $299. Realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox One was $500.
$499. I guess that's probably their best bet as far as...
And that's with Kinect.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they lowered the price of the Xbox 360 so that with Kinect and a 250 gig hard drive is $299. Yeah. Right now, Xbox 360 with a 4 gig hard drive is $299. So you're basically upping the hard drive on the Kinect Xbox 360. Because I mean that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna want people to get used to Kinect, and they're gonna want people to buy their hardware.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I've been playing Xbox since Xbox One. I mean, when
Xbox.
Exactly. Sorry. Holy crap. Since the original Xbox. Wow. Since the original Xbox.
So it's been 12 years.
Yeah.
This holiday it'd be 12 years. 2001, the original Xbox. So it's been over
12 years. That's
over a decade of Xbox gaming and Microsoft, and they clearly know what they're doing. We had similar problems when the 360 got announced. All of our answers are going to be. Everything we need to know is going to be answered. So
I wouldn't say we had similar problems because, when the Xbox 360 got announced, we didn't have to worry about Kinect. We didn't have to worry about always-on connection bullshit. And to a degree, the Xbox 360 is backwards compatible with the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Now with this Xbox One, we know that it's not backwards compatible, and we don't know how it's going to play used games, and we know that you require some kind of internet connection, and you need Kinect.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I said...
There's a lot of moving parts to this new console.
Exactly.
It's not just put the game in and start playing.
It's not as static. This scenario is not as static as this last generation, which has me... I'm a little on my tippy toes. I'm a little scared.
Well, we'll know in another week and a half. June 11th is when E3 starts. That's a Tuesday.
Yeah, and it could go either way. Right now I'm rooting for Sony because the PlayStation 4 unveil, I felt more positive on that unveil than I did with the Xbox One unveil. But
I've seen this multiple times in the past couple weeks. Is you get two sides. One side is Sony, where it's all about the games and they don't show the console, and then you get the other side, which is Microsoft, and they show the console but they don't show any games.
Yeah, and who cares about the console? I'm gonna play the games. I'm not gonna look at this system.
I like the aesthetics of it. It's nice to
see something. Hold on. We're gonna have another argument.
I don't like the aesthetics of the console. Okay. I just like being able to see what it looked like.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't like the new controller.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the integrated battery pack.
Yes.
But it is not rechargeable. It's still...
I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with rechargeable batteries for that.
Oh, yeah. They'll come out with a plain charge kit, but...
I like the impulse trigger idea.
Yeah,
that looks pretty
Having
cool.
some sort of a vibration functionality or resistive trigger.
Yeah. But yeah, it sucks that they stuck the guide button all the way up.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm sure they'll have some stuff coming with Smart Glass too, and we'll get some new information about that soon.
Yeah, like I said, Smart Glass looks pretty interesting.
Yep.
But I don't know. Right now, would you rather buy a PlayStation 4 or would you rather buy an Xbox One?
Xbox
One.
Yep.
All right. Not knowing anything.
Not knowing anything, no.
You're just...
Yep.
Gotta get them achievements.
Xbox. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, because that's another thing they announced. They were like, yeah, achievements, we're going to take this to a whole new level.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a set number anymore. It's going to be something that grows with the community. Yep. So as the community finds new things out about the game,
developers can...
Yeah, they can add achievements whenever they'd like. It's not just a DLC focused thing. Like, you can only go up to 1,500 points if you release 3 DLCs for 400 points apiece. Because they wanted to get their cut of the money before people started buying stuff. So,
and that's cool. And I mean, I get it. Achievements are awesome, but at the same time, I just want to play the game. I just want to enjoy the game. I just want to be immersed in the
What's
story.
What's your gamer score?
You know what? Shut up.
So we've got 2 different views on achievements.
Yeah.
I personally just broke 100,000. So,
and I'm sorry, how'd you break 100,000?
Lego Batman 2.
Yeah, Lego Batman 2.
1,000 pointed it.
Granted, that game, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Game. It's a lot of fun. But if I recall, you were climbing Wonder Woman with the gorilla up a tower for no fucking reason. Just
to get that achievement, 20 points.
Just to get that achievement.
Yep,
that's right.
Put me over 100,000, and working on Lego Pirates right now.
So yeah, I'm at 50 grand. So whatever, I got them achievements too. Playing the games how I like to.
Yeah, and I just like achievements. I like the. I don't know. I feel like it adds something to the game. Even after I beat a game, I feel like I can go back and do
I will
something
say that,
extra.
yeah. I definitely agree to that. Achievements were a godsend in that they allow you to enjoy your game in ways you didn't realize you could enjoy it in.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do with the new Xbox. They said, like the Skyrim example with the arrow in the knee thing, that the developer could go in and add an achievement to like hear somebody say that.
Yeah.
That way you're in on the joke.
Yeah. And it's an achievement.
Just by playing the game. So if you're missing out on parts that other people are enjoying, they want to make sure that you can notice that it's an achievement and then go for that to get the most out of the game you can. So
which is cool. I mean realistically speaking, games are another form of entertainment, and the fact that they're basically making this form of entertainment that more volatile, that more you can change it that more easily is pretty exciting. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to it. That being said, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna pick. I don't know if I'm gonna pick the PlayStation 4. I don't know if I'm gonna pick the Xbox One. I'm gonna wait for E3 to finish and see what happens, because right now my money is closely closed up in my wallet.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll know in another week what is really going to happen. So, yeah, hopefully everybody can agree on this used games market and
God, I hope so.
figure something out that'll benefit not only the consumer, but I mean the people that made the games, the people that paid the money to make the games, and then the company that paid to make the console that plays the games. Everybody needs their cut, and it's understandable. It's just rather have a specific answer.
I mean, these people work hard to make these games, so they deserve a cut of that money.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I think
I think we're good. I guess we'll do another post E3 podcast. Maybe we'll do one every day after announcements.
It's being a little optimistic, I think.
I know. I know we don't do them pretty regularly, but we'll try to get every week at least as game news comes out. I'm sure it's going to be busy every week for the next, 30 weeks coming up to this new console.
At least.
So, but we'll definitely do one at E3, and we'll make sure to get that out as soon as the events have happened. So, thanks for listening, everybody, and just make sure to subscribe. If you got questions or anything, you can email unreliablestudio@gmail.com. And we've also got a YouTube page, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the major social networking stuff. So
yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Peace.